So if you own your own business, is it necessary to have accounting and bookkeeping software? The answer is no, it's not mandatory, but in many cases it would be highly recommended and super useful. And then in other scenarios, it might not be needed at all. So for starters, there's a variety of different types of accounting and bookkeeping software, different brands. There's QuickBooks, which is probably the most popular. There's FreshBooks, there's Xero, there's Sage. There's a long list of different options for this type of software. And whether you need it or not, I think depends on two things. Number one is your preference, and number two is the nature of your business and the amount of transaction volume that you're doing. So for example, if you are like a business consultant or in similar field as I am, where you don't have a super high volume of transactions, either ingoing or outgoing, then it's probably not necessary to get accounting software. You can probably just use a spreadsheet. That's what I use. I don't have a high volume of transactions, so I find a spreadsheet works fine for me. Whereas on the other hand, if you are in an industry with a high volume of transactions, let's say you own a restaurant or something where maybe you are having 400 sales per day and 30 expenses per day, then using a spreadsheet probably is not going to cut it, probably not a good idea. And then even if you're someone who's operating a business that doesn't have a high level of transactions, if that's your preference to have accounting, bookkeeping software, then I think it's fine. So it really depends on those two factors. Keep in mind, you can always hire external bookkeepers and accountants to do that for you, and therefore you might not need the program yourself. They often have those programs and they just charge you for the bookkeeping and maybe extra because they're the ones with the software and you aren't. So that can be an option as well if you do want to use it for your business, but you don't want to be the one owning and operating the actual software. So if you have a simple business and you choose just to use a spreadsheet like Microsoft Excel or Google Spreadsheets, I think that's fine. Again, that's what I do. And I'm just really organized with that, where I have a breakdown of the different expense categories with lots of details on those expenses. And then on the revenue side, I just have a breakdown of revenue, when that came in, which month, how much there was, income tax that I collected, how I was paid, and things like that. So for me, that works just fine. But again, if you have a business with a lot of transactions, I think that's just too much work and it's not a great way to organize your data. With a spreadsheet, you kind of have to manually create financial statements, whereas with most accounting and bookkeeping software, once that data is input into the accounting and bookkeeping software, that software can then generate financial statements for you, like a balance sheet, like an income statement, like a statement of cash flows. So using the spreadsheets, it doesn't automatically generate those. And then in terms of which software is actually best, don't ask me. I don't use them regularly. I've used QuickBooks and that's about the only one. I know that one is probably the most popular. I would say if you want to find out which one is best, that's kind of subjective. Different people are going to have different opinions. I would, test out free trials or go online and read some reviews, watch some YouTube videos of people comparing them, speak to other business owners, speak to bookkeepers and see which ones they use and which ones they prefer. And that's probably going to be your best source of information on deciding which one is best. So hopefully that was helpful. If you liked the video, please click like, and you can check out the other videos I have here on YouTube. I've got over 100 now on business startup and business management topics. And if you have a question related to business startup or business management, feel free to just drop that in the comment section below and I will answer it either there or making another video.